Those your wares, Danny.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
No, lads, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of Mauls, Balls, and All the Breakdown. Tonight we have Matt Boland and our good man Peter Burke joining us. Matt, I'll come to you first on this one. Um, Leinster versus Ospreys. Leinster win that 22-19. Did you see the match, or you have any thoughts on it? Or
I did, yeah. Well, sure, look, I mean, we all knew it was going to be the way it was, considering most of the Leinster team are in Ireland camp. So, um, it was a tough game. I mean, Ospreys were within touching distance for the whole game. We'd score, and then they'd come back into it. I think what did we go up 8-0 or something, and then they came back at us. But look, I mean, a win away from home during the Six Nations when you're missing half your team is always a good win. It wasn't a bonus point win now, but look, I mean, at the end, they went to Ospreys, they got the win, and they continued their unbeaten run for the season. So for me, I was happy enough. Good to see Charlie Tector getting on the scoreboard. Some changes kind of soon into the second half, I think, and they were quite needed, I think, because Ospreys were starting to come into the game there just after half time, putting a bit of pressure on the Leinster lads, and then Snyman came in and kind of fucking snaffled that out pretty much, and they saw the game out then towards, I think it was 76 minutes they scored that last try, or was it 76 minutes? No.
Ospreys scored in the 74th minute. That was a Jones try.
They scored to get the bonus point, but then, I think it was like the 64th or the 65th minute where we scored. I think it was Slimani actually went over then to get that last try for us. That kind of just put us 2 scores ahead. So when Ospreys scored then in the 75th minute, the game was kind of over then. So it was, I mean, it is what it is. It's a win away from home during the Six Nations. Happy enough.
No complaints about that. But the one thing I'll say, Matt, is there was 2 tries in the last 5 minutes of the first half. With Ospreys, Diva Small scoring 36 minutes, and literally Tector scoring just right before halftime. Because do you think that gave Leinster an extra bit of confidence and wind in the sails going into the second half?
Oh yeah, look, absolutely. It's scoring just before halftime is a killer for any team. It just gives you the momentum going into the second half, and if you're already kind of on the losing side, you saw it again in the Six Nations. When Scotland scored there just at the half, just at the death of the first half, and then came into the second half. Generally, teams are kind of on a momentum trajectory, and they take that into the second half. So, and I think it was a bit, Ospreys was a bit similar to that, but again, the fact that Tector scored just before halftime kind of stifled Ospreys a little bit, and then it was pretty much done at that point. But look, I mean, you look at the squad, you look at that Leinster lineup at the start of the game. It's nearly a second or third string team. Like most of them, they're all away on the Ireland training camp. So look, I mean, it is what it is. It's a win. It's nothing to be upset about. Probably a little bit closer than we would have wanted it to be, but I mean, I'm happy enough.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at the squad there. I'd say the only person that would be almost guaranteed a spot within the Ireland 23 from the Leinster team that started Friday night was probably Kieran Frawley.
That's literally it.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. You've got other lads that have been capped. You've got Gus McCarthy. You have Max Deegan, Luke McGrath, Jimmy O'Brien, Jamie Osborne. They've all been capped, but they're not what you consider the regular capped. Even Ross Byrne on the bench, they're not the regular guys that you'd be seeing pushing for positions for the Ireland squad. But it still shows there's enough quality there with that Leinster squad for these sort of games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think Luke McGrath out of all of them probably has the most caps of anyone there, you know, and he was in favour there for a while, but when you've got the likes of Gibson Park playing out of his absolute skin, you know, there's nobody getting that fucking jersey off him. Like.
Yeah, but then again, look at scrum half situation we have now. We still have Conor Murray going, might be his last season. We have Craig Casey. Yeah, we have Craig Casey. We have Murphy and Devine and Blade, the Connacht.
And Doak up north.
No, not Doak. He's shite.
I know, but like I mean, you have loads. If you're scraping we have loads, and we're quite spoiled in that position. And recently, over the last sort of decade, the fly half position was always the one where it was like one player taking on from the role from the next player, like Ronan O'Gara, Johnny Sexton. But now we're spoiled for choice as well. Now in Crowley and Prendergast, and there's a few other boys that, well, not Billy Burns anyway, but there's a few others that would be given an honourable mention. Do you know what I mean? But having them two now is 100%.
Good evening, Christopher. Good evening, Gregor. Good evening, Dave. Good evening, Chris.
Evening, lads.
How are you, lads?
Peter, your thoughts on the Ospreys Leinster game?
Overall, it was a shite game. It wasn't a classic. Far from it. Ospreys 3 times during that game, Ospreys reduced the deficit to 1 score. The Ospreys just wouldn't go away, and why should they? They're playing at home. Yeah. Like Matt said, it was, and we all kind of knew. Well, we're not kind of knew. We all knew looking at that team sheet before the teams ran out onto that pitch. It was a depleted squad. I mean, I think there was 18, 20 Leinster players missing. But look, most teams at this stage of that competition, be it URC or Heineken Cup, are going to be missing players. It's just the case. Not all, but most. So it was always going to be a tough game for Leinster. As I said, it wasn't a great game. It was far from a classic. I think it was a 7-15 at halftime to Leinster. It was just one of those games that had to be done, get it out of the way, play the second string lads, give them 40 minutes, 50 minutes on the park, rotate the squad, get up to our usual 52, 53 players per season that Leinster use. Slimani, Tector, McGrath crossing the whitewash. Good to see Slimani getting over. But yeah, as Matt said, I mean, it was nothing to write home about. I struggled to write a review for that game. It was so fucking boring.
It was hard to watch at times as well.
It was. And the best player on the park was the Ospreys player who got man of the match. Harry Deves, I think his name is. Deves is a surname. I'm not too sure about his first name. Deves was immense. He's a blindside wing forward, if memory serves me. But he was something else, that fella, Deves. Might not get into a line squad. He might be a bit late being coming to the attention of some of the coaching staff. But Deves, yeah, man. Harry Deves. Yeah. What did I say? Yeah. Did I say Harry? Harry Deves. Yeah, he's a great player. Some man. He was all over the ruck. I think he won about 2 or 3 turnover balls for Ospreys. We just weren't protecting the ball at some stages. Harry Deves just came straight in, over the ball, boom, turnover ball, possession back to Ospreys. So yeah, I won't go on about it. That's it. Was what it was. Like watching paint dry at times. A win's a win. 11 out of 11 in the URC and 15 out of 15 combined. So yeah, we'll take it.
No, but what you said about Deves there, right? I remember someone in the Mets threads from Friday night. They were saying that it was fairly odd that you get a player from the losing side getting the man of the match title.
Yeah,
but from what I saw, Deves, he stood out a lot more than any of the other Leinster players did in that match. Now, Leinster played well as a unit, but none of them were standing out as much maybe as Deves doing what he was doing in bits and
No,
pieces here and there.
Deves. No, you're right, Danny. Deves was playing a game of rugby, with pride. Leinster were playing a game of rugby to get a winning result. They were almost machine-like in their efficiency in some states, but all Leinster wanted was a win. None of those players were, none of those Leinster players were playing like they had to impress to get onto a Lions tour or into the Ireland squad. They were just efficient, going about their business, no flamboyancy, no nothing. Do the job, get the result. That's it. That's all we want. Deves, on the other hand, was putting his hand up to all asunder who was watching that game, which would have been a lot. Look at me. This is what I can do. And he bloody did a great job of it. Fair play to him. He was the best player by a country mile on that park. I'll give him that.
Joe Lyons there saying Georgie off playing golf in the States. Enough said. Do you think the Georgie Barrett effect might have been missing some bit? So with the way he plays.
Look, he needs a break, doesn't he?
Deves played 6.
Yeah.
So that's what I said. That's what I said.
Just looking at Joe Lyons' second commenter.
Yeah.
Who are 6,
yeah.
dirty and so and something like. Shut up, Joe.
He got man of the match. He couldn't have been that dirty.
No, that's how his blindside operates. They're dirty, all right?
I think he might have been mixing up your man fucking Justin Tipuric. He was playing and he was a fucking menace in that game. He was a
he was good as well.
He was, and he was annoying the bloody referee every time the ref had it.
Yeah.
Tipuric was just in his face going, what was that for? What was that for? Go away, Justin, would you?
Yeah. Get a haircut, you hippie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Put some money in that fucking Wi-Fi, will you?
Yeah, Danny. Yeah. Get the whip out. Missed that question there, Tony. You froze.
No, Peter, I think you'd be a great referee. I think you'd be a fantastic referee.
No, I would not. No, go on. No.
Are you sure?
I'm not talking about that. No, I would not be a good referee at all. No.
No, we'll just put you in the match between Russell. You're fine. Don't worry, Peter. Benetton 34. Peter, do you see that game?
I saw highlights of the Benetton v Ulster game. I didn't see it live, no. And my God, what a lashing Ulster got from supporters and Facebook comments and all this. I mean, look, Ulster were not great. They were far from it. They, I mean, if I want to use my usual phrase, Ulster were shite. I mean, it started well, Doak going over after 4 minutes, which is always good. Lowry on 17 minutes, and then I think it was Stockdale on 31 minutes, all over, right? So there was a bit of hope. Then you had 3 yellow cards. Moore got a yellow card. Timothy got a yellow card. Dave McCann got a yellow card.
And they all happened in the space of 20 minutes.
It was just, you're just looking at it going, what the hell are you doing, lads? I mean, like, 1 yellow card in a game for any team at URC level, Heineken Cup level, international level, 1 yellow card is bad enough. But to get 3 within the space of 20 minutes, that would mean that Ulster were down to 13 players at one stage. If you get 3 yellow cards for 10 minutes within 20 minutes, that would make.
Yeah, there was a point because McCann got the yellow card in 44th minute. Timney got his card in 57th minute. Then they went back up to 14. And Moore got his on the 64th minute, which brought him back down to 13 again. So there was a little bit of a crossover, but it wasn't a major amount because when McCann came on, the only thing Ulster conceded was a penalty. Was it Albornoz, I think, was the guy, was the only score they conceded, when they were down to 2 men. But once Moore got on, you had Spagnolo and Albornoz converting a try. So those, I suppose, those 10 points in that period of time didn't exactly do them any favours.
And then they let a try in, Danny. They let a try in on the 79th minute. Your man, Isakor scored on the 79th minute, and Alvarez converted. But listen, I'll tell you what. Now, this is not me. This is from the official Ulster Rugby Facebook site. Comments underneath the graphic that they always put up. Every team puts them up. You know, the usual. It wasn't our day at Benetton, right? These are just some of the comments. Doak and O'Toole particularly came in for a walloping.
Actually, hold
on, Daniel, just one sec. I won't mention names, but these are all straight from the Ulster Rugby site, Facebook page. You can go on to this and you can read them all yourself, right? Ulster fan. I'm just going to call them all Ulster fans. Just shocking and not good enough. Stupid mistakes and awful discipline. Buck has to stop with players and coaches who trot out the same lines every week about progress when we're going backwards. IRFU allowing an Irish province to scrape amateur rugby for props shows how much they care. Again, some people tend to blame the IRFU for provincial woes. Another Ulster fan. Too many jobs for boys and sons of former boys. Another Ulster fan. Ulster need to get their act together from management down to players on the field. And last one, Danny. Someone else says, Doak and Morgan simply not good enough. So that's a tape of what's... Now, there's over 400 comments, I think, on that. But that's just of the flavour of the sort of comments Ulster fans are saying about their team.
But what's the whole situation with Tom O'Toole anyway? Because Ulster had to try this now, did they?
They did. Yeah, I saw it all right, but I didn't actually read into what actually happened, Danny, so I can't comment on that, to be honest with you.
Matt, the Ulster Benton game, did you see any of that? Or?
Yeah, look, I mean, Ulster back to their old ways of not turning up for the second half, pretty much summed it up really with their lack of play and ill discipline. You know, I mean, if you look at the first half, they actually did quite well, even though Benetton were within touching distance of them, you know, and, you know, Benetton and Zebra these days are not the teams they used to be. They're actually fucking decent enough teams, like, and they are hard to beat. And, like, even looking at Zebra at the weekend, they got another really impressive win away from home, you know, against an Edinburgh side, which I don't think anybody would have foreseen that. But, you know, with the play that Ulster were playing in the first half, they should have just continued that on into the second half, and it would have seen the game out. But again, talk about shooting themselves in the foot with fucking discipline. And okay, 3 yellow cards within 20 minutes is not going to help any fucking team, you know, in any stretch of the imagination, you know, especially when you get down to 13. It's all right. It's not so bad going down to 14, but once you lose fucking 2 players and down to 13, that's like, it's a hell of a lot of fucking effort for the rest of the boys remaining on the pitch. But, you know, I think there was a few selection question marks there from Richie. I don't know what happened. Did Ishaku go off injured, or because he went off fairly early, 23 minutes or something, and I didn't really see whether he was injured or not. I presume he was, because he wouldn't have been taken off. But like, you'd think, like, looking at McCluskey and James Hume in the centre, you think, like, you know, that's a fucking good solid pairing, but they didn't really seem to do fucking much, really. You know, they were fairly non-existent. You know, that fucking Albornoz or whatever is Tomas for fucking Albornoz, yeah, he's some fucking player, like, you know. And, you know, that Matt Gallagher try in the first half, I think shortly after Doak's try, was pretty fucking decent. I mean, I know it was a fucking a kick and chase, but, you know, he took it really, really well, and that just got kind of gave you the glimpse of what Benetton were about, and the fact that Ulster didn't capitalize on what when they needed to, it just gave Benetton that chance to be within touch and distance, and that's why then come in the second half with the yellow cards and stuff. Benetton just ran away with it pretty much, I mean, Ulster didn't score after the 31st minute of that game, so they nearly played fucking 50 minutes without a single score, and you just can't do it at that level against any team. It's I do feel sorry for Ulster because they are better than that. They really are, and I think there's a couple of question marks over selection from Richie Murphy, in my opinion, and discipline. Like, I mean, you get one yellow card and you say to the team, you get the captain. I don't know who's captain in fucking Ulster at the moment, but like, when you lose one man to the sin bin, you fucking tell the lads, right, fucking cop yourselves on here. We don't need to be losing anymore. We have a chance of winning this fucking game. And then fucking couple of minutes later, you lose two more. Like, it's just fucking.
Yeah.
It's unforgivable. It's unforgivable. It really is.
As far as I know, Nick Kimney was captained last few times, all right, anyway. And I'm not sure if he's captain Friday night or not. I'll have to check that out anyway.
We played. There you go. You see, Gregor
go. He's an Ulster fan. Gregor's an Ulster man. There you go.
100%. Yeah, and like, I don't know. Questions should have been fucking asked on the pitch. When Danny sells more T-shirts and we're getting better.
You're in production, Christopher. Don't worry about it. All right. Not condoning it, but the fucking was said to for him to lose the head. If he had made contact, that would have been a straight red for him. I've not seen a lad lose the head like that, but he snapped, so it must have been bad. Yeah, see, I'm not sure what happened there with the Tom O'Toole situation.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know, Danny. I don't know.
Yeah, but look, these lads are professional. They shouldn't be losing the fucking head. Like, shit's going on all the time on pitches. And you play the ref, like, just have a few fucking words with the ref going, here, listen, that number fucking 3 is acting the maggot, and just get it into the ref's head to keep an eye on him then, and if that was the case, if somebody was fucking sniping at him or digging at him or whatever, losing the fucking rag on a rugby pitch is not really the way forward, because you're only going to end up getting fucking yellow carded or worse, red carded, you know what I mean? So especially with any sort of tackle out of character or high tackle. And look, I know it's easy to lose fucking the run of yourself, and adrenaline is a massive thing in a rugby match. But these lads are used to this type of thing. They're professional. They're playing and training day in, day out. They know what they're at. So I don't know. So it must have been bad. Whatever happened to him must have been bad. That's all I can say.
I just see another comment there, Danny, coming in from. Sorry, not coming in live. It was said a couple of days ago. He said, it comes to the point now where I dread them coming on. Talk about Ulster, obviously. I don't understand how they can perform that bad when on paper it looks like a good side. I'm just finding this hard to take. And last one, someone else says, are Ulster becoming the Wales of Irish rugby? That's, I mean, no, we're laughing, you can do that, but that's depth of despair or anger or whatever phrase you want to put on that Ulster fans. Yeah, that Ulster fans are feeling. And really, you can't blame them when you see this and you see that performance. Richie Murphy came in. It was a new to borrow the Star Wars thing, it was a new hope. Turning the page, getting over previous administrations and all this sort of stuff. And they got a bit of a, new coach bump, so to speak. And then it kind of disappeared, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, because I'm looking at that squads from Sardine. You've got Rob Hurd, Tom O'Toole, Cormac Izuchukwu, Nick Timoney, Jacob Stockdale, Stuart McCloskey, James Hugh, Mike Lowry, John Andrews, Kieran Treadwell, you've got lads that have been pushing or been in the Ireland squads in some way, shape, form, or fashion and far over the last couple of years. And they're right. On paper, that's what squad you expect them to be performing well. But like we discussed this earlier on. Is there something else going on at Ulster that's the quote Cranberries is in their head? Is there something in their head that's making them kind of go, hang on a minute, now we're succeeding too much, or is there nervousness about that squad that's just something's not right?
But I doubt very much, Danny, it's the thought of we're succeeding too much.
Yeah. Or is there something fear there, or something holding them back, though? Because like there has to be something there, because like you've seen how Connacht play sometimes. Fair enough to shot themselves in the foot, with bad decision making and that. But there's more of an air of confidence about how they play, and that seems to be going against Ulster. For some reason, they just don't seem to have. It's like they're succeeding, then all of a sudden it's kind of like a deer in headlights or something like that. So
it looks like. Sorry, Danny. To me, it looks like the players don't want to play for that particular coaching team for whatever reason. I don't know, right? It's certainly not as obvious, and I'm just referencing this because it's in the public sphere and it's out there and all that. It's not as obvious as the Welsh issue, where it's common knowledge. I'm not having a go at Wales or anything. Just look, they have their problems. It's well documented, well noted, well spoken about, well written about. That the higher echelons of Wales rugby stinks and is rotten, and this is what I'm reading in the print media and online. That something needs to be done there. To bring it back to Ulster, I don't think it's as obvious as that. If there is an issue in the Ulster management, I don't know. Rishi Murphy just announced his complete backroom staff there, defence, attack, fitness coach, all that sort of stuff. So it would seem that that's in place. There's happiness there. Now, what else could be affecting the team performance? I don't know. I really don't know what is going on with the players, but they didn't seem motivated in any way, shape, or form against Benetton there the other night. Now, look, every team has its off day. Leinster has it, Munster has it, Connacht has it, the Harlequins have it. Leinster, every team has their off day. But the frequency with which Ulster are having off days is very worrying. It would be to an Irish and an Ulster rugby supporter. I don't know what is going on. If there is indeed anything going on in the background, I don't know. I haven't read anything about it. I don't know. I don't know what's going wrong. I don't know what's going on or what's going wrong, so to speak, Danny.
Could be the hangover, the extended hangover from Denmark and leaving last year, or anything like that, or
I don't
something like that, Matt.
You wouldn't think it would be.
Yeah. So, like he's been gone. You'd kind of
give him a couple of months, really, to have that hangover and get over it. But it's fucking nearly a year now at this stage.
Yeah.
Well, sure, it took Munster a while to get over your man. Van Gran, whatever his fucking names.
Yeah, Van Gran, yeah.
And your man Roundtree.
Yeah, but you saw when Roundtree came in that they're doing something right. Is just kind of the little errors going wrong here and there. But whatever's going on there now, anyway, as well. I'm not too sure. But I suppose what we do is we move on anyway. Yeah, he's come on.
Right, go on, move on.
Yeah. Munster versus Scarlett said Munster win that 29 points to 8. Matt, did you see that game at all?
I did, yeah. Look, again, like fucking Scarlets, like Wales rugby is fucking shocking, and I wouldn't expect anything less than a Munster win in that. And looking at the performance by Munster was good. Like Cormac got injured. Sorry, just see that there from Gregor. I was wondering what happened. No, look, I mean, I think there was an early yellow card for, can't remember who it was.
It was Roberts from the
Roberts.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
It was like in the first 10, 15 minutes or something like that, and then they were a bit longer to. I think Scarlets actually scored first, didn't they? I think
he did. Yeah, it was a penalty by line. Yeah,
20 minutes. I think Munster scored a try, but I actually like. I think it was Gavin Coombs scored a couple of tries, and like when he gets the ball, like when he gets the ball kind of at a breakdown near the fucking line, you can guarantee you put your fucking house on it that he's going to fucking score, because he's just unbelievably strong and seems to be a great finisher. And I think he could have even nearly had a fucking third try at one point.
Needed, yeah.
Was it near the end or something? He's just.
Tom Farrell scored. Tom Farrell scored on the 81st minute or something like that.
Yeah, and I think the first surge was fucking Gavin Coombs. But look, I mean, Tom Farrell's been scoring fucking left, right, and centre. He's done really well and seems to be playing really well in red. There was a couple of other performances or a couple of other lads played well. The young lads, Alex Kildellen, he's a fucking great player. The fullback, what's his name? O'Connor, is it? Was it?
Yeah, Ben O'Connor, yeah.
These are good lads. Like, these are good fucking. It's good to see these guys coming up from Munster. I mean,
and your man Matt, the scrum half.
Yes, what's his name?
Came on, Patterson.
Patterson.
Yeah. He's a bloody good player, man.
And that's like it's good to see, these lads coming up, and Munster have quite a good few young lads that are really fucking good. Like I think Gleeson was playing as well.
He was Brian Gleeson, he's a substitute. He came on later in the match, all right.
So he came on later. But again, another young lad from the fucking under-20s coming in with Munster. It was a good result. They were always going to beat fucking Scarlets. Scarlets they're not really great by any stretch of the imagination. And you got to remember, like, Munster have lost a good few players to the Ireland squad as well. So, I mean, it wasn't a full strength Munster squad by any stretch of the imagination either. But again, look, a great win, 29-8 or something, 29-8. Look,
there's a good point there about Dave Sheedy. It took us six bloody years to get over that Safa influence. Talking about Van Gran.
There was another one prior to that by Joe Lyons as well, saying about the O'Toole incident. He's saying,
there you go.
He said that straight back after suspension and missing out what could have been a Six Nations run, he completely flipped. So it must have been something said or something done in the field, because you don't see players absolutely and utterly lose fucking rag from what I'm seeing Joe Lyons here, unless there's a fairly good reason for it. So, you're kind of wondering what did happen there. I'd probably have to check that out myself, because I think he was named in the emerging Ireland squad, right, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'll actually have to have a look back myself and see, because I didn't know at the time.
I think that would be looked at as a one-off. I mean, he doesn't really have history here.
No.
Like, if it was Trevor Brennan back in his day, you'd go, all right, there goes Trev again. But Tom O'Toole, I don't think, has history here. So I think, everything in context and the situation. I don't think that Tom O'Toole will be reprimanded badly over this, put it that way. Now, I don't know if it's a sighting issue or whatever. I didn't see it, but look, we should wait and see. But Tom's a good player and he's good reputation. I don't think he'd be wrapping the balls about it.
Like he went down off in a bit of an old Paddy Main for once in his life, right? But I suppose every player's entitled to that every now and again, all right? Anyway. Peter, you didn't see the Munster Scarves.
Just looking at that comment there from Dave, Daly had one of his poorer games Shane Mack and Ben O'Connor have to be given more games. What do they lack in defence? They make up for an attack and pace. And he makes a good point there. Like Daly normally has a fairly decent game, and you can kind of rely on him, but he didn't play well at all. And I think that fucking high tackle that he got fucking pinged for could have easily been a fucking red card. Like,
I saw that actually.
I think he was lucky.
Yeah,
he was there on Mike Sheedy anyway. Munster Rugby's first half was poor. Yeah, that was fucking shite, and I agree with him with that. Second half was better. Young players did great job, great work, job done. And he's right. I think substitutions did kind of make impact. Even Tony Butler as well. I think when he came on, he started making a bit more of a difference compared to Billy Burns. So
Billy Burns shouldn't be fucking.
That wouldn't be fucking hard, Danny. In fairness.
Yeah, I mean, like, us can have Billy Burns back if you want. I don't mind. Send him back up.
No, look, I mean, we always slag off Billy Burns, and recent events have kind of taught us that we can have a go. But Billy Burns does. If a rugby player's repertoire was 10 out of 10, Billy Burns is probably a 4 or 5 out of 10 type player.
Consistent.
Yes, consistently. He does some things right, but most of the time he's just a bit off. Is Billy? That's all. So.
Pierre, did you see the game and give any thoughts on it?
I didn't see it, Danny. I saw bits, and I probably saw in total about 10 minutes of the game. I not enough to say yay or nay. I read more about it than I saw of it. And by all accounts, Scarlets were not great, as Matt was saying earlier, which is no huge surprise, being the way it is over there across the water at the moment in their setup and everything, with the national squad and the club squad. Although Ospreys made a good account of themselves, but overall in general, I was reading that Scarlets couldn't. They tried stuff, but it just didn't happen. Their face was dismal, to say the least. But they did have a good defence, I read. At stages in that game, they had good defensive work going on.
Yeah, I mean, if Munster were informed, they could have scored a few more tries. A few more points. We did have a try disallowed shortly after the yellow card. There was a knock on, and it was a very eagle-eyed TMO.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah,
he was all over everything, I believe. Yeah, he was all over everything.
To be honest, it was a fucking super spot, like.
yeah, because like even with this, I thought Scarlets had gotten the try at one stage, but TMO brought it back, and he said, I forget who it was under it. I think it was one of the wingers or something like that, but he said he couldn't see the grounding properly. He wasn't happy with it, and he got chalked off as well afterwards. So, fair enough, Joe. He did. Spotted right, got it right. Not go complain too much about the call going against us, but look, I suppose there's not much more we can do about it.
Peter, well, I think. Sorry, Danny. Before we move on, sorry, Danny. Sorry to interrupt you. Dave Sheedy's a good point there. More mentality than anything. Munster seemed to play to the level of their opponents. Poor against Scarlets. But overall, it wasn't a great game. But look, Leinster didn't have a great game, and they played great against Northampton. Must be something in their team's mindset. I think that's really relevant. That's a good point.
Yeah, but like to be honest with you, I saw 3 of the games the weekend. All of them bar the Ulster game. I think none of the games are great. Nothing really stood. No players really kind of stood out exceptionally well. I know we're missing an awful lot of internationals and stuff like that, but apart from a few here and there wasn't anything convincing about it anyway. Joe Lyons is in there as well. Dave, just imagine how bloody good and elevated Munster will be next year when the Leinster lads head south. Is there any truth in your home games getting moved to Glenelg O'Connor Park in Tullamore so the community for the lads and stuff? We might go with Simple Stadium and Tip instead. That's decent enough halfway point. You know,
You know what I was thinking, Danny? You know what I was thinking of what you were just saying there about all the games weren't great. Three teams should have been expected not to be at the top of their game last weekend. That was Connacht, Munster, and Leinster, simply because of the players that they were missing or had access to. Right, Connacht maybe slightly lesser. Ulster should have been at the top of their game because they have no one missing, or one or two maybe. Or Izzy was called back, but Henderson wasn't there. So the majority of their squad to choose from is in Ulster. It's not away with the Six Nations. You know, they're not missing 7, 9, 10, 18, whatever the fuck it is. They have most of their players in situ in Ulster, so they should have played the best rugby away to Benetton, at home to anyone. They should have played. They should have put it up to any team, and they just simply didn't. That's just what you were saying, Danny, before you went on.
Yeah, because I didn't see any of the Ulster games, so I can't really comment on the Ulster game when I didn't see it. Now, the one game I did see, the last game of the weekend, I suppose, and I come to you on this, Peter, is Connacht 24, Cardiff 19. You didn't see that one, did you?
Again, I saw most of it. Yeah, Connacht. I thought, Connacht played reasonably well. They were. Sorry, I don't have it written down here in front of me, Danny. What was the final score of that game?
24-19. Connacht went into the first half 14-0 up.
Yeah, I saw. That's right. Yeah, okay. I think Connacht 19-0 up at one stage.
You were 19-0 because
Cardiff came back at them. But like Scarlets, Cardiff weren't really at the races, to be honest. Again, they came back at Connacht, but they butchered a few chances in the 22. They butchered possession. Sorry, I said they weren't at the races. They were there or thereabouts.
For about 10 minutes, for about 20 minutes.
For about 10 minutes, yeah. The territory and possession that they had, they threw some of it away. They should have converted twice at least in the second half when they were in Connacht's 22. And I heard the Cardiff head coach afterwards lamenting that particular thing, that they didn't do that. And if you look at that game, in those particular instances, Cardiff should have done better. But Connacht weren't letting that one go, and rightly so. Although, if you're 19-0 up in a game into the second half, you would probably think to yourself, I suppose that they did, but you'd probably think that the opposition would think, geez, we've no chance here with this. We're 19-0 up and it's about 55 minutes to go, whatever it was. But Cardiff said, no, fuck this, let's go with this. And they came back and they scored 19 points in the second half, albeit Connacht scored 10. 5. So second half, Connacht 5, Cardiff 19. First half, Connacht 19, Cardiff. So, like, that game really, and it's kind of a stupid thing to say, but I'll say it. If you played that game for another 10 or 15 minutes, it could have been a different score. Put it that way. Yeah. I know it's a stupid thing to say, but if you get the meaning, I'm talking behind it.
Yeah, I know what you mean, right? Because, like, Cardiff did go through 20 minutes to purple patch there where they got all their scores.
Yeah.
The only thing was that Heffernan tried in the 48 minutes and if Tierney Martin tried at the 76, because like I was kind of thinking to myself, Jesus, have Connacht that's defeat from the jaws of victories yet again this season. So it's like, how many times can they do that? Matt, the Connacht Cardiff game, you didn't see that at all, did you?
It's the only one I didn't actually see at the weekend. It was the Connacht game, so I watched. I watched the highlights, but it's not really. It's only a 5-minute highlight to watch. To it's not worth me even commenting on it. But look, I mean, a good win at home, and I think the conditions were kind of shitty as well. So
on that shitty fucking plastic pitch they have up there.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
because like,
Not the only ones. Not the only ones I might add.
yeah. No, like if you saw some of the kicking going there, right, some of them were veering right off, so there must have been some sort of heavy breeze.
Oh, there was, yeah, there was.
Well,
Yeah.
look, I mean, the West is always one for bad weather. Like, and I remember Leinster went there one time, and I can't remember who kicked the fucking ball, but it was like he kicked it through the posts, and it was blowing back through the posts, and they had to, huh? Antipony, yeah. And then
yeah,
I had to say to the referee, did it count? And he was like, of course I fucking counted. It went through first.
All right, yeah, it counts, all right.
Yeah. But look, the weather over there is always dodgy, especially in winter time. It can be blowing a gale and fucking lashing rain. So it's a tough place to go, to be fair.
It is.
Now we know that one of the games we have now next weekend, that is the Ireland Day versus England Day. It's on the Ashton Gate. It's Sunday 1:00 kickoff, and it's live on Rugby Pass as well. But have any of you had a chance to see the actual squad named for that game?
I saw the Ireland A squad named.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, Jesus, that's a fucking strong squad. Because I saw Max Egan's on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's captain.
Captain, yeah. But I remember going down through the names and I just think to myself, that's a fucking massive squad. That's a strong squad.
For an A squad, it's a really
For
strong
an A squad, yeah, it's a very strong squad.
Yeah. There's a lot of big names in that squad.
There is.
You've got Jack Ainger as well. I think
that's right.
Yeah, I think he might have been a guest before, Mikey, at some stage.
Of course he was, yeah. Jack Ainger. Yeah.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. I think his mother. Oh God.
Yeah.
Go
on. We've got Ollie Yeager in there. We've got Ken Dillon. We have Evan O'Connell. Tom O'Toole's in there as well. Finian Wycherley. They're just a couple of lads in the forwards. Brian Gleeson as well is in there. Some of the lads in the backs we've got Tommy O'Brien, Andrew Osborne, Colin Ford from Connacht, Harry Byrne, Hugh Cooney in there. It seems to be a fair amount of those young lads coming up, all right.
Good to see fucking Shane Bolton and Zach Ward named in it as well, because
fucking those lads in there, but yeah,
absolutely.
But I suppose one of the questions is, do you think there might be a few players from the main squad dropped down into that squad for Monday's game or Sunday's game? Sorry,
possibly. Like the squad, the main squad will get narrowed down. So whether they get released back to their clubs or they might get released to the A's, but the problem with that though is if they get released from the main squad to the A's, then who are they going to drop from the A squad? Like, it's a bit unfair for them to drop a couple of names and then put them in the A squad and drop somebody else from the A fucking squad. It'd be a bit fucking harsh. Like.
The only player that would stand out, Danny, that would do that would go from senior to club to A squad is Ichuku. If he's fit now, I know he went off injured, but if he's fit, he would probably. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Is there anyone else obvious? But he's probably the most obvious one I can think of who would go to the A squad. Be easy.
Yeah. Because do you think they say drop maybe a forward and a back in from let's say the main squad into let's say the A team or something. Let's say Dean Prendergast or argument's sake, let's say Calvin Nash. So I know Calvin Nash.
Calvin Nash. No, we probably need Nash, or do we need Nash?
Yeah.
For backup, I mean, not.
Yeah.
I think Nash should play against Wales this weekend.
Yeah. I suppose another option could be that they Caleb Blade, because I'm looking at an awful lot of names here, and most of them lads are going to be nailed on that 31-man squad. However, he should be with him that day.
I think Caelan Blade is a very underutilized scrum half. I think he's a great player, and I don't know why he's not used more. Now I know age is not an aside and all that in competition for the position, but certainly Blade, give him a run at the Ireland Days if needs be. Absolutely, he would fully deserve it, and he's one of those players who rarely has a bad game. Blade, unlike Doak.
He's a bit like fucking Max Deegan. Max Deegan never has a bad game. He's in and around 80%, 90% all the time. Never falls. And just solid. So
Like just look at the amount of options we have at back row.
That's
in the Ireland squad.
Scary.
Because like Joe, you could say the same thing about Reece Ruddock maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Joe, why wasn't getting more time at Joe in the Ireland squad? I thought Ruddock was an excellent versatile player. He's a leader. He did everything he was supposed to do and stuff like that. One of the lads I actually was surprised that didn't get more Ireland caps. So I think Deegan is kind of falling into that category as well. The Reece Ruddock category. But like it looks like one of those teams that you'd nearly peg a few lads coming down the line to take over, maybe in a few years' time. Actually, I see another former guest as well on the show, from the show as well, Alex Soroka. Has he been playing much for Leinster?
He has. He's played a couple of times recently. Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Did he not play like a game there just before the fucking?
He did.
Kicked off.
He did. Yeah. He did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I can't remember if he started or if he came off the bench, but I remember seeing him on the pitch. All right. Yeah.
He definitely played anyway at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely did. Definitely did match it right. Yeah.
I was just kind of surprised because I hadn't seen the don't remember seeing him the whole time. Now this season I thought he was off injured or something. Anyway,
Danny, is it your birthday coming up soon?
No, not in August. Not for another 6 months or so. But yeah.
So we have to wait 6 months before someone buys you a decent microphone.
We might just have to fucking chip in for fuck's sake.
Look, I got to hear your ears, lads. Don't fucking worry about it, alright? I have Kimu mics on before you know it, okay?
All the jobs are Danny.
Do a crowdfund for him. Or fund me, or whatever you call it, bloody things.
Go fund me, yeah.
Go fund me, yeah.
Go fund me,
yeah.
Actually,
pay for new Wi-Fi for him as well.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Oh, and if you're going to go on. You might as well get me a new phone, a new TV, a new tablet.
No, you can get fucked now.
Huh?
You can get fucked now.
No, I won't. That's nice. There was a few more lads added to the main squad as well. Stuart McCloskey was one. You had Nick Timley, I think, and Jeff Stockton in there. Considering what supporters are saying about some of the Ulster players after Saturday's match, do you think they'd be happy with those lads linking up with the Ireland squad, or do you think are they still a bit cagey concerning their performances from Saturday?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think everybody wants to play for Ireland, and I think when they get into that camp, they give the best possible account for themselves because they want to be playing in green, and that's the ultimate goal for any squad member of any provincial team, whether it's Connacht, Leinster, Munster, or Ulster. As soon as they get a chance to represent green, they go full fucking tilt. And I guarantee you could make, I'd say, 7 different squads out of that fucking team, that 40-man squad that's named, and you'd still have a savage fucking team out in the pitch. Yeah. And that's where we are at now. We're very lucky in terms of the players that we have now. I know a lot of them are coming into their twilight years. Like Peter O'Mahony said, the game against France will be his last game at home, so he is more than likely going to retire at the end of the season. But look at the amount of players we have in his place. I mean, look at Munster even. There's fucking loads of them that'd step into them shoes, you know. And I think it's a different ball game altogether when they're coming out and putting the green jersey on. They want to come out and perform. They want to make a big statement, a big account for themselves. And I think they all play to the best that they can play when they pull on that green jersey.
Even David Sheedy saying, I know I'm biased, but Coombs and Hodnett's inclusion in the main squad is massive.
I'm delighted to see both of them there. Like Coombs at the weekend had a great performance for Munster and scored 2 tries. And like I said already, like as soon as he gets that ball in them positions, a couple of meters from the goal line, he is getting over no matter what. He's just such a savage engine on him, and he's so fucking strong at them that them engagements. He's very hard to stop. You know, 2, 3, 4 lads on top of him, and he'll still get over. Like, so,
and his burst of strength, Matt. His burst of strength when he's 2-3 meters out, and he goes and he dips. As you say, you're not stopping him from there.
No, not at all. And he is without a doubt, like, you know, he deserves that inclusion in that squad. And you know, I'd love to see him in green. You know, he's played a couple of games in green, but not as many as he probably should have. But again, like, who do you drop for him? Like, that's the other thing. But
that's yeah.
But look, I mean, it's a good situation to be in. But I'd love to see him in the match day 23. I really would.
Comment there from Mike Sheedy. We have Ireland A. It's out this Sunday. Friday night is the under-20s. Main squad Saturday, A squad Sunday. So it's going to be a fairly active weekend of rugby. I think we have the Celtic Challenge on as well, but not sure what times they are on yet either. Anyway, did O'Mahony actually say that? Thought it was Ruck clickbait. Yeah,
that's one of the reasons I didn't post that myself, because with what Dave is saying there, he's quite right. There is a bit of clickbait on that ruck.co.uk, not ruck this, by the way. That's why I didn't post that myself, because I didn't hear it. I haven't heard it from an official IRFU source.
No, I haven't heard it. But like, there's really, when things like this come out, there's never smoke without fire at some point. You know?
No, you're right. And it wouldn't surprise me, but I've heard no official announcement.
No, me neither. No, me either. But it wouldn't surprise me either. We just have to wait.
I think a lot of people kind of know that once you see Ruck just coming up, and showing news or anything to do relate to them, there's always going to be a pinch of salt with what they say.
Ruck.co.uk, Danny. Excuse me, I'll correct you there.
Not Ruck this, fuck's sake. Jesus Christ, oh my God.
No. Yeah, no, sorry.
Insert both feet.
Yeah, no, that's my mistake. I admit that one.
I know.
The one other question I want to ask you, lads, is we've gone about this, like the likes of Hodnett, Kendellen, Coombs getting in there, Jack Anger, Max Deegan, Ollie Ager named in the squad, and a few other lads. You know, I've always been an advocate of the A squad, and the Irish team using them more often. Because like, if you go back maybe 15, 16 years, you've had the likes of Keith Earls, Mike Ross, Sexton even stayed with them during the that competition, that Churchill Shield thing over in the US. Do you think there should be more A games for those perennial players and young players coming through, to say, let's say if we're missing our front row, third or fourth choice front row, can you step up your game to be good enough? Do you think those games should be played more for that type of squad?
If the rugby calendar would allow it, of course, that would benefit everyone. Like, the rugby calendar at the moment is jam packed. You know, I mean, like the players, like us all, they need a break for recuperation and get their head set, get their body set, reset, or whatever it is. Like, there was talk there of a global rugby union league there last year. Like, sure, when are you going to play it? When's it going to be played? I mean, if you look at the calendar at the moment, what you have between the top 14, the English Premiership, the URC, the Heineken Cup, the Six Nations, and then on rotation, then you've got the Lions and the World Cup. Like, when are all these? If you were to do that, and I agree with you, Danny, there should be more games for the Ireland A team, but when are you going to play them without exhausting the players, running them into the ground? Then they get injured because their fitness. So, like, you have to give these guys a break. I mean, it's a bloody fucking tough sport to play, and they need time off, a lot of time off to recuperate. So, I don't know. Sorry, Mac.
Yeah, so like I think it's a good point though. Like, it's good to have these players getting up to test game standard, right? But here's one, like, would you not? So when Ireland do like a summer tour or something, should they not bring the A squad as well and have separate things for them? So have two squads going on tour. So then you're playing them concurrently. So say, for argument's sake, and you know the way, like, every now and again you get on a summer tour, whether they're down in Australia, New Zealand, or South Africa or whatever, players get injured, they get sent home, and then they have to send other players on. At least then, if they had the A squad there already, they're there, they're playing their other games between other little kind of
franchises or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, and I'm sure South Africa can easily field an A squad as well, or New Zealand, or like you've got the Maoris, and that's the way it should be. They should do it concurrently, so that the two squads are going, the full Ireland squad and then an A squad going down, and having a mix of games with local games, and then
only one problem with that, Matt. Only one problem with that I can see. Just as you were saying it, I was thinking that would mean about 120 bodies going on tour, 120 airfares, 120 hotel rooms, or whatever, 60 hotel rooms, whatever it is. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm just thinking. To have two teams, the first team with a squad of 32, 33, whatever it is. The A team would probably be a similar squad. It would actually probably be more than 120 people traveling. There would be a lot of people traveling on that, So I'm just thinking, as you were saying it, Matt, a good idea. I like it, but I'm just thinking, would they go for that? Would the cost?
It's only thinking, because you were just saying, like, when do you do the Ireland A tour or an emerging Ireland tour? Like, where can you fit that into a calendar? So I was just thinking,
would November work?
I like Matt's idea. Bring the two teams. I think that's a great idea for autumn tests or whatever, summer tours or whatever. If Ireland travel, the Ireland A team travel. Now, it's also, you want to fit into time, and players go on holidays, and well-deserved holidays and stuff like that. But again, I'll come back to it. It's a good idea. They should do it. They should try it out. They should cost it and see how much it would cost, and
exactly
that sort of thing, And
I mean,
explore it.
They'll never know unless they do it. Do you know, that sort of way? So
exactly.
And look, it may not work, but at least if they try it and go, look, it doesn't work, it's too expensive, or it was too hard to organize other matches outside of the actual tour, blah blah blah, whatever. At least fucking try it, give it a go.
Yeah, as I always say, the answer is always no if you don't ask.
Well, 100%.
Yeah, lads, I suppose we wrap it up for tonight and leave it at that. We've got past the hour mark anyway. So, Peter.
Good stuff, Danny.
Come on, Danny.
I'll talk to you next time, lads. Take care anyway, all right?
Come on, gents. A pleasure as always. Take care.
Good luck. Good night and God bless.